Sanatana Dharma can be very confusing at first because Hinduism is not a religion as many think. The image that people here in the West have of Hinduism is that it is an unfight pagan religion with heaven, hell, and millions of gods. But we who are Hindus, we know that it's not like this, it's much more complex than that. Namaste, dosto, आपके Brazilian friend here, मेरा नाम राधिका है, और आपका स्वागत है to our channel. There are many spiritual paths within the Hindu culture, and each sect has its own traditions and beliefs. And some sects of Hinduism are very regional and closed. Then we who live in countries where Hinduism is small, having access to knowledge is not easy because Hinduism originally doesn't proselytize. So gurus and swamis do not live in there to spread knowledge around the world as other religions do. And unfortunately, this means that in some countries, there is no information about Hinduism. And I know you may be thinking that already has a lot of information about Hinduism out there. But it's not quite like that. For two reasons. First is that a lot of information about Hinduism is in English, Hindi, and Tamil. But many countries, people do not speak English. Like in my country. The second reason is that the only one who proselytizes in Hinduism is the Hare Krishna movement, especially the ISKCON. So they have missionaries and books and sites in many languages. But ISKCON just talk about Hinduism from their point of view and not as a whole. And their vision is different from the original Hinduism. In some countries, like mine, find information about other sects of Hinduism is very difficult. Sometimes there is no information, no temples, no one to guide you. So many give up on seeking information about the Dharma because it's a little bit tiring. Another thing I noticed as a Sanatani over the years is that Hinduism gives you many options to follow different beliefs. And many people say that Hinduism has no rules, no dogmas, but it's not that simple. Hinduism has recommendations of what's best for us and society. Even if it's not an obligation to follow those recommendations, it's highly recommended because Hinduism, unlike other religions, is not about belief, it's about practice. So in Hinduism, I could realize that really just believing something and talk about something doesn't change anything in your life. As I was taught here in my country, I would just need to believe inside. It's not like that. Sanatana Dharma taught me that faith without practice is useless. What will transform you from inside out is get knowledge, understand, and put into practice. And unfortunately, in a corrupt world, being correct will sometimes make you look wrong. Another thing that I learned is that faith without logic is strongly dangerous. Beliefs without knowledge, without know the origin of the belief, is just superstition, and superstition can cause many social problems, such as segregation, dangerous rituals, and even abandonment of faith. Because some people may hear about certain things and think that this don't make sense, so it's probably not right. So it's extremely important for Sanatanis to understand the origin of some beliefs and practice. And for that, we need to understand the history of Bharat, the real history of Bharat, and not just what the family says. Because often, not even the elders don't know. We see this in relation to the female period. How many myths have arisen from misinformation and ignorance? So let's not be lazy and study Indian history, especially from Indologists. But now let's talk about the third thing I've learned as a Hindu so far. Although some Hindus are very helpful and always offer themselves to explain things to us, the truth is that many people don't know many things that we want to know. Because people who are born in an Hindu family, they know what their parents tell them about how to do puja, the reason for celebrating the festivals. But many people never read the scriptures or just only read film, so they know about the ritualistic practice, but not the theology behind. And personally, I worry too much about the origin and reason for some things. So for me to know only the step-by-step of the rituals without knowing the reason behind, it's just a waste of time. And another thing that I learned as a Hindu is that no matter the path you chose to follow, no matter how much you study, you will never know everything. Because unlike other religions, it is not about believing a book or a date. It's about understand yourself, it's about to understand your essence, and for that you need to seek knowledge and do it constantly. You have to have the courage to reevaluate your beliefs and the beliefs of society, especially those of us who live in the West and grew up with a completely different beliefs. You need to open yourself up to new ideas and ways of things, and also prepare yourself to have your ego affronted in different ways, as this is what will make you have more understand about yourself and the whole, and consequently advancing spirituality. It's not always easy, just as it's not always difficult. Being Sanatani in a country where the community is small can be more challenging, but it's also a way to challenge yourself, to open yourself to a new world and break patterns, to reconnect with an ancient and divine knowledge that has always knew, but only now you can see it. So if you agree or if you do not agree with me, tell me in the comments. It has many things that I learned as a Hindu. Obviously this is just a bit, but now I want to know your opinion as a Sanatani, especially if you didn't born as Sanatani. Tell me in the comments your experience. What did you learn? What you used to believe in the beginning, and now what do you believe? Like, what changed for you? And if nothing changed, okay, tell me this too in the comments. Sanatana is what you expected or not. Please let me know in the comments, because I love to read all your feedbacks, your experiences. These make us grow together. So let me know. Put everything in the comments that you want to say, and I will read and reply. So if you liked this video, give your like, share with your friends, or if you're feeling gay.